Oops, there's a nutcracker in my video. I got put out of my own room.
Marcella, you want me to email you the order?
Yeah, you can.
DocuSign or no?
Just regular email for now.
Okay, is this the Pettis case?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Cause number 2020-54059 in the interest of Matias Pettis. All parties, please raise your right hands to be sworn. You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Your Honor, CSO Arnold Barrera is here to translate for the custodial parent. Arnold?
Arnoldo.
Sorry, I got disconnected.
Okay, this is cause number 2020-54059 in the interest of Matias Pettis. All parties raise your right hand to be sworn.
Este es el caso 2020-54059, el en interés de Matías Edil Pérez. Por favor, levante la mano derecha.
You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
¿Usted jura decir la verdad, toda la verdad delante de Dios?
Sí, lo juro.
Yes, I swear.
All right, ma'am, please state your name and your relationship to the child.
Señora, por favor, diga su nombre y la relación de usted a los niños, al niño.
Sí, mi nombre es Evelyn Araujo y soy la mamá de Matías Ediel Pérez.
My name is Evelyn Araujo, and I am the Matías Pérez.
All right, and for the state?
Marcella Turner.
All
Para el
right,
estado, la abogada Marcela Turner.
court will note that Heriberto Perez is not present. He was served on November 17th, 2020 at 12:23 p.m. at Celaya's Mexican Restaurant and Cantina at 12015 Perry Road, Suite D in Houston, Harris County, Texas.
La corte nota que el señor Pérez no está presente, pero le presentaron los papeles de servicio el noviembre 17 de 2020 en el restaurante Elias Restaurant en el 202 Prairie, Houston.
All right. And there's no answer filed. Is that correct, Ms. Turner?
That's correct, Your Honor.
And this is a straight no answer default?
Yes and no, Your Honor. Mr. Perez was present and checked in for court today, this morning. There was a hearing that was scheduled to be had, but after Mr. Perez was provided the hearing information for Zoom, we waited about 20 minutes, at which time he failed to log in.
El señor se presentó, pero cuando íbamos a tener la audiencia, no se presentó a la audiencia el señor. Y esperamos como 20 minutos y él no se presentó.
And with that being said, Your Honor, the state is requesting that we be able to proceed forward and default Mr. Perez.
Y el Estado está pidiendo a la corte para proceder sin el señor aquí.
All right. Let's proceed with the default hearing.
Vamos a proceder.
At this time, the state would like to call Ms. Orojo Cervantes.
El Estado quiere llamar a la señora Araujo.
Sí.
And how old is the child before the court today, and what is that child's name?
¿Cuántos años tiene el niño frente a la corte y cómo se llama el niño?
Se llama Matías Ediel Pérez y acaba de cumplir el año.
Matías Dio Pérez, and he just turned 1 year.
And are you currently married?
¿Y usted ahorita está casada?
No,
No.
And have you ever been married?
¿Y usted ha estado casada anteriormente?
no, nunca.
No, never.
And at the time of your child's conception, were you sexually involved with anyone else other than Mr. Perez?
Y cuando usted se embarazó del niño, ¿usted estaba con relaciones con alguien más?
No.
Que no sea el señor Pérez?
No, nunca.
No, never.
And is there any possibility that anyone else could be the father of this child other than Mr. Perez?
¿Hay una posibilidad que alguien más pueda ser el papá del niño que no sea Heriberto Pérez?
No,
No.
And are you asking this court to establish that Mr. Perez is the father of your child, Matias Perez?
¿Y usted está pidiendo a la corte que establece que el señor Pérez es el papá de su niño Matías?
sí.
Yes.
And to your knowledge, does Mr. Perez have any other children other than this child under the age of 18?
¿Y usted tiene reconocimiento que si el señor Pérez tiene otros niños menor de 18 años?
Tiene 3.
Yes, he has 3.
Okay. And does he pay child support for those 3 children?
¿Y usted sabe si él paga manutención para esos 3 niños?
Sí,
Yes.
And is there current medical or dental insurance, private medical or dental insurance available for these children?
¿Y esos niños tienen aseguranza privada? ¿O qué tipo de aseguranza tienen los niños?
los de él,
His children?
No, the child before the court. I'm sorry, this
No.
child.
No, perdón, el niño frente a la corte.
sí, tiene Medicaid y Magna Insurance.
Yes, he has Medicaid and Magnum insurance.
And are you asking this court to appoint both you and Mr. Perez as joint managing conservators?
Y usted está pidiendo a la corte que que los dos sean conservadores compartidos para el niño.
Así es.
Yes, that's correct.
And are you asking this court to appoint you as the conservator who determines where the child resides within Harris County or any of the surrounding counties?
Y usted está pidiendo a la corte que le otorgan a usted que usted tenga el derecho de decidir dónde vive el niño, pero que residencia tiene que ser en el condado de Harris o un condado alrededor.
Así es.
That's it.
What was that?
Yes.
Oh, and are you asking this court to order a standard possession and access order for visitation purposes for
Y
your
usted
child?
usted está pidiendo a la corte que ordene las visitaciones estándares.
Sí, solo que había pedido que al momento de que esté el niño con él no tomara porque él toma mucho en horas de trabajo.
Yes, but I would like it to state that he will not drink during visitation.
Okay, so you're asking this court to enter an injunction asking Mr. Perez to abstain from drinking within 12 hours of having possession and access of this child?
Usted está pidiendo a la corte que ponga una restricción que él no puede tomar 12 horas antes de recoger los niños, al niño.
Así es.
Yes.
And to your knowledge, is Mr. Perez currently employed?
Abstain, hold on. Abstain also during the visits.
Yes, as well as,
Abstain
I'm
from
sorry, Your
alcohol
Honor.
during the visits.
Y
I'm
también,
sorry, Your Honor.
y también
Go
de
ahead.
no tomar durante la
Arnoldo.
visitación.
Sí.
Yes.
All right.
May I proceed?
Yes.
And to your knowledge, is Mr. Perez currently employed?
Y su reconocimiento, ¿usted sabe si el señor Pérez está trabajando?
Pues él tiene 3 negocios. Es el dueño de...
He
Yes,
has
ma'am.
3 businesses. He is the owner.
He has how many businesses? You went out.
He has 3 businesses. He is the owner.
And what are the names of those 3 businesses?
¿Y cómo se llaman los nombres de esos 3 negocios?
Es Celaya's Mexican Restaurant in Cantina
Celaya's Mexican Restaurant and Cantina,
y Celaya's Tire Shop.
Celaya's Tire Shop,
Y tiene unas canchas que se llama, ay, no recuerdo el nombre, pero también es Celaya's.
and he has some fields. I can't remember the name, but it's Celaya's.
Okay. And how long has he had each one of those businesses?
¿Y qué tanto tiempo ha tenido cada uno de esos negocios?
Ya tiene años, bastantes años.
He has years, several years.
Could you give an estimated time frame, like how many years?
¿Puede dar un estimado de qué tanto tiempo, como cuántos años?
Pues es que en realidad no sé en cuánto tiempo, porque él como estuvo casado,
I really don't know how long, because like he was married.
Okay. And how do you know that? How do you know that he's had these businesses?
¿Cómo sabe usted que él tiene estos tres negocios?
porque yo empecé a trabajar con él, fui su empleada.
I started working with him. I was one of his workers.
Okay. And when was that?
¿Y cuándo fue esto?
Fue en el 2019.
In 2019.
Okay. And are you still do you still work with Mr. Perez or no?
¿Y todavía usted trabaja con el señor Pérez?
No, ya no, tengo un año sin trabajar.
No, it's been a year since I stopped working.
And have you and Mr. Perez ever lived together?
¿Y usted y el señor Pérez vivían juntos?
Sí,
Yes.
And has Mr. Perez ever discussed how much he brings in monthly from either or all of his businesses each month?
¿Y el señor Pérez ha hablado con usted qué tanto él gana de cada de esos negocios mensualmente?
pues es que yo a veces le hacía, como yo trabajaba de cajera, yo le hacía el corte o trabajaba en la oficina a recoger los cheques de los trabajadores, todo eso.
Like I would work for him as a cashier and I would pick up the checks for him.
And how much was he bringing in each month?
¿Y cuánto él estaba entrando cada mes?
Como, es que yo casi no le, o sea, no, ¿cómo se dice? Yo no le hacía las cuentas, o sea, yo nomás eras la cajera y yo nomás apuntaba lo que ganaba en cada día, era como 5,000, 7,000, 8 o 9, dependiendo del día si estaba calmado o no.
It depends. I was just a cashier and I would just note how much came in the restaurant that day. Sometimes it will be 5,000, sometimes it will be 8,000, depending on how busy the day was.
Okay. And so you were present today when Mr. Perez was here today, is that correct?
¿Usted estaba presente cuando el señor Pérez también estaba presente ahora?
Sí.
Yes.
And at any point while speaking to Mr. Perez, while the child support officer was speaking to Mr. Perez, did Mr. Perez ever indicate how much he was bringing in each month?
Y durante la junta que tenía usted con el señor Pérez y los oficiales de la oficina del Attorney General, ¿el señor Pérez dijo qué tanto él estaba ganando mensualmente?
No, él dijo que no sabía porque ocupaba su contadora, que él no sabía de cuánto tenían sus negocios.
No, he didn't say that. He needed his accountant because he needed to know how much he was making.
Okay. So are you asking this court to order that the cash medical support in this order be set at $180 each month?
Usted está pidiendo a la corte que ordene que la manutención médica sea 180, excuse me,
Así
it's
es.
180 per month.
Sí,
And
I'm sorry, Marcela, was that 180 per month?
$182, I'm sorry, per month.
Perdón, señora. 182 por mes, ¿es correcto?
sí,
Yes.
de la aseguranza, ¿verdad? Del niño.
For the insurance for the child, correct?
Yes.
Sí.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, I can't honestly recall, but did you state that you and Mr. Perez ever lived together, or did I not ask that question before?
Y perdón, no recuerdo si ya pregunté, pero el señor Pérez y usted vivían juntos.
Sí,
Yes.
And when did you stop living together?
¿Y cuándo pararon de vivir juntos?
En enero. Bueno, en diciembre dejé de vivir con él y en enero es cuando ya no anduvimos.
In December, that's when I stopped living with him. And January, that's when we stopped our relations.
And has Mr. Perez provided financially for the child?
El señor Pérez
Living together?
ha estado dando ayuda financiera para el niño.
Me ha dado en 5 ocasiones, me ha dado $4.50.
He's given me 5 times $450.
Okay, and so when we totaled up that amount, did you ever indicate to the child support officer that since that time frame, Mr. Perez has provided actually $2,250 to you directly?
Y usted le dijo al oficial que él le ha dado 2,000. I'm sorry, what was the total number?
$2,250.
$2,250 fue el total?
Sí,
Yes.
Okay, so that's actually more than $450 5 times, isn't it? Is that more than that? Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Entonces,
I'm sorry, that totals that amount, correct?
y eso suma la cantidad a los 5 pagos de $450, ¿correcto?
sí.
Yes.
And are you requesting retroactive child support since you stopped living with Mr. Perez, but with a credit of the $2,250 he's given?
Y usted está pidiendo child support retroactivo desde la fecha que ustedes pararon de vivir juntos y dándole crédito de $2,250 de pagos directos?
Sí.
Yes.
No further questions for this witness right now, Your Honor, subject to recall.
Ya no tengo preguntas para este testigo, pero quiero el derecho de hablar otra vez.
Were you gonna call another witness?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm sorry, I don't know if Luna was sworn in earlier.
All right, Ms.
Vamos a tener
Luna,
otro
raise your
testigo.
right hand to be sworn. You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God.
Yes, I do.
All
Por
right.
decirte la verdad delante de Dios, sí.
The state would like to call Miss Luna.
Okay.
Miss Luna, could you state your name for the record again?
Sandra Luna?
¿Puede decir
And
su
Miss-
nombre para el record? Mi nombre es Sandra Luna.
And Miss Luna, where do you currently work and what is your position or at your job?
I work for the Office of the Attorney General and I'm a child support officer.
And I'm sorry, go ahead, Arnold.
Por favor, diga su nombre y dónde trabaja. Yo trabajo en la oficina del Attorney General y soy un oficial de manutención de niños.
And could you briefly explain to the court what a list of your job duties entail?
Conduct investigations and calculate the child support and retroactive child support.
¿Y qué es parte de su trabajo? Yo hago investigaciones en cómo calcular manutención de los niños y lo médico.
And Ms. Luna, you were present today when Mr. Perez was present during negotiations, is that correct?
Yes,
Señora Luna, ¿usted estaba presente cuando apareció el señor Pérez en la junta con la señora? Sí.
And are you the child support officer that attempted to negotiate between Mr. Perez?
¿Y usted fue el oficial que trató de hacer la negociación con el señor Pérez, señora Rufo?
yes.
And during that negotiation, did Mr. Perez ever provide an amount of income that he makes each month?
He,
Y durante la cita el señor Pérez dijo qué tanto él ganaba mensualmente.
he stated that he was his same earnings as his divorce decree of $8,100 a month, but he failed to provide proofs of his income. He didn't want to provide any proof.
Okay, so just to be clear,
Él ganaba
Wait.
8,000.
Wait. Go ahead,
Sorry.
Arnoldo.
El señor dijo que él ganaba 8,100 al mes, lo mismo que él ganaba durante el divorcio, pero no pudo dar documentos de lo que él estaba ganando a este tiempo.
And so just to be clear, it was Mr. Perez himself who stated that he brought in 8,100 a month. Is that correct?
Yes.
Y para estar claro,
And
el señor Pérez fue el que dijo que él ganaba 8,100 al mes, ¿es correcto? Sí.
so prior to Mr. Perez giving that information, you had no knowledge of a divorce or what the findings were as to his income at that time either. Is that correct?
That is correct. I did not know.
Antes de que él dijo que él ganaba 8,100 al mes, usted no tenía reconocimiento que tanto él ganaba, ¿es correcto? Sí, es correcto.
And so after you began to calculate child support, the guideline amount, and you explained that amount to Mr. Perez, what was his response?
That he could only give $450 a month, and that will include everything. It will be on her own to get the medical insurance, and she will have to pay with the $450 that he's offering. She either takes it or leaves it.
Did you ever, I'm sorry, go ahead.
El señor dijo que después de que usted le dio la calculación de manutención, ¿qué dijo el señor? Él dijo que él nomás podía dar $400 al mes, incluyendo todo. Si ella quería aseguranza médica, ella tenía que agarrarlo ella misma. Y si lo puede, si acéptalo,
Eran 450 por mes.
450 lo que él quería dar total al mes.
Ms. Luna, did you ever ask Mr. Perez specifically for his W-2 information?
Yes, he refused to provide. He kept stating that he has to speak to his accountant to get that information.
Y usted le pidió las forma taxas el W2 al señor Pérez y él dijo que no podía probar ese documento porque tenía que hablar con su contador.
And Ms. Luna, did you also the representative who provided Mr. Perez with the Zoom login information for the hearing today?
Yes, and he
Y
repeated.
usted, sorry.
Go ahead,
He
Arnoldo.
repeated.
Señora Luna, usted fue la que le dio al señor Pérez la información para meterse a la junta de Zoom. Sí.
Were you able to confirm that Mr. Perez was in fact the owner of Celaya's restaurant?
Yes, he.
Y usted pudo confirmar que el señor Pérez es el dueño del restaurante Celaya's Restaurant.
Contesta sí, contestó sí.
Sí. Sorry.
I'm sorry, was there something else you wanted to add, Ms. Luna, to that?
Yes, he did confirm that he had 2 restaurants before, Celaya's restaurants, but now he has one, and he had 2 other businesses, a tire shop and a soccer field that he runs as well. Those are his businesses.
Y él confirmó que él tenía 2 restaurantes, pero ahora nomás tiene un restaurante y tiene 2 canchas de fútbol y tiene una llantera.
And Ms. Luna, did you also independently confirm that Mr. Perez was the owner of Celaya's restaurant?
Yes, he confirmed that.
Y usted también en pendiente, usted confirmó que él es el dueño del restaurante Celaya's. Sí.
And so based off of the income Mr. Perez himself stated he was bringing in, what did you calculate the guideline child support to be?
843 on child support and 182 on medical support.
Y basado en la información de los ingresos que dio el señor, ¿o qué calculaciones dio usted para la manutención? $843 de manutención por mes y 182 en manutención de médico.
And in addition to that, did you also have an opportunity to calculate the retroactive child support, including the credit of the $2,250?
Yes,
Y también
and it
calculó
was a judgment 190.
Y también calculó lo retroactivo incluyendo los créditos de 2,250. Sí.
And what did you calculate that retroactive child support judgment to be?
8,190.
And did you use, I'm sorry, go ahead, Arnold.
¿Y qué fue la calculación de lo atrasado incluyendo el crédito? 8,190.
Did you use the income that was provided by that was verbally provided by Mr. Perez to calculate that retroactive child support?
Yes.
Y usó los ingresos que el señor Pérez verbalmente dio para calcular la manutención. Sí.
And one more question for you, Miss Luna. This Celia's restaurant, is that also the same restaurant that Mr. Perez was served at?
Yes.
Y para clarificar, ese es el mismo restaurante, Celaya restaurante donde le dieron los papeles de servicio al señor Pérez. Sí.
No further questions for this witness. I'll pass the witness.
Ya no tengo preguntas para ese testigo.
You have any questions for her, ma'am?
Señora Araujo, ¿usted tiene preguntas para la señora Luna?
No, todo bien.
No, everything's fine.
Anything further, Ms. Turner?
Yes, one more question for Ms. Araujo, Your Honor.
Una pregunta más para la
Ajá.
señora Araujo.
Ms. Araujo, are you asking that this court costs be billed against Mr. Perez?
Señora Araujo, ¿usted está pidiendo en la corte que ordene el gasto de corte, el bill de para el señor Pérez?
Sí.
Yes.
No further questions for the witness. I'll pass the witness.
Ya no tengo preguntas para el testigo, paso al testigo.
All right, the court will approve the order, and the AG is to submit the order for signature today. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
And don't forget to include the restrictions on alcohol intake during the possession and access. Okay?
La
Thank you,
corte
Your Honor.
aprueba la orden y por favor no olviden poner la restricción de alcohol antes de recoger el niño y durante las visitaciones.
All right, free to go.
Thank you,
Muchas
Your Honor.
gracias.
May
Ya
we
se pueden
excuse.
retirar.
Gracias.
Señora Araujo, por favor, vaya a la otra cita que entró primeramente en la mañana y ahí vamos a la orden.
Ok.
Muchas
Gracias.
gracias.
Okay, who's handling
All right,
the
guys.
LIDA matter?
That's me. Handling
right.
it all.
This is cause number 2020-22904 in the interest of Michael and George Lidas. Please identify yourself for the record.
Marcella Turner for the state of Texas.
All right, there are no parties present. I don't know that they've been served, have they?
Yes, Your Honor,
Okay.
both parties have been served on this action.
They have. Okay, well, let me
Yes.
see if I can find it. Uh, I don't have anywhere where it shows that they were served.
I have, it's restricted on my end. I'm showing a service date of October 19th of 2020 for Mr. Lyris and September 10th of 2020 for Ms. Rodriguez.
I don't have that in my file. This is this is the same case number, 2020-22904. There's something else pending over there in the district court, 507.
Correct.
But I don't
Yes,
have
it's-
any.
You don't have any service on that one. You can't see it.
I don't have any service on anything other than they've appeared in that other court in October and also in December for that case. But
Yes,
this is,
that one's a pending CPS case, and we were we were wanting to have this one referred over to district since it's a pending CPS case, but I can't see on my end either the actual documents. It's sealed from my view.
Well, I'm just going to indicate that no parties are present and the case is transferred to the 507th District Court because there is a CPS case pending there.
Okay, thank you.
That correct? All right.
Thank you.